Well, greetings and happy new year. Happy new year. I'm Mindy Audlin, and this is our 2023 Vision Quest. And I want to thank you for joining, and I'm just excited to have you here. My name is Mindy Audlin. I am the founder of the What If Up Club. I'm also the author of a book called What If It All Goes Right? And that is a really great question to ask yourself, especially at the beginning of a new year. So, this session is we're going to be live here streaming online for the first hour, and then we're going into our What If Up community for a brainstorm creation session so that we can play with these ideas and put them into action and support each other along the way. So if you're not a member of the What If Up Club, I invite you to join today. What a great way to kick off the year. You can join for free at whatifup.org, and then you can join us for the full experience. So we'll be going for the full duration. We'll be going for a couple hours, and 12 to 3 at the most Eastern time. But I want to thank you for joining, and I'm excited to see you here live, and I'd love to get to know you. Who's here? So if you're able to, in the comments, say hello. Let me know who's in the house and what you're working on. And here's our check-in question. How about this for a check-in question? How did you celebrate the arrival of 2023? What did you do last night? How was your New Year's Eve? So I will share for me, this is sort of like the classic introvert's New Year's Eve, I think, because I spent my New Year's Eve literally like cleaning almost all day long. I went for a hike, which was lovely, like an end of the year hike. I saw this beautiful golden eagle. It was amazing. And then I came home and it was just like organize, thin stuff out, release, get rid of last year's dirt and grime and prepare for this year. So that's what I've been doing. And, it's interesting. So I cleaned the house during the day. At night, I had this, I had my end of the year New Year's Eve bath. Total introvert, I know. So I took a bath and just kind of let myself release. You know what I mean? Just kind of like let all that old stuff fade away. And then when I came out of that, I went to my doodling book. So you're going to learn about this today. So I went and created a vision based on my meditation. And I want to share with you part of the process today. I'm going to share with you what I did, what came out of it, and how you can use it. And then from there, we will use that as the foundation for creating your vision for 2023. So this is a process of releasing. It's a process of clarifying based on maybe the things that didn't go the way you had hoped for 2023, or for 2022. What if 2023 is different? What if for this new year, it's a fresh beginning? What if you can use all the things that worked in 2022 and next level them? What if you take all the things that felt like a struggle, all the things that felt hard, and what if we could reframe them, create a new paradigm, and from that paradigm, gain clarity for the vision we're creating for the year ahead? So that's where we're going. Again, I'd love to hear from you. So post a comment. I am live, and I love interacting with you and seeing what you're creating as well. So just post in the comments, and I am able to see what you're posting in real time. And if you'd like, I'll probably be posting and sharing some of your comments as well. So as we get ready to dive into this process, I hope you'll take it on for yourself. Obviously, we're going to do some meditations. We're going to give you a chance to reflect on where you've been and where you're going. And it's also fun to share those things, because what I know is that when we get into personal development, when we get into spiritual growth, that most of us, we start the path and it's a very inward journey, right? It's a journey of meditation. It's a journey of prayer. It's a journey of reflection and insights. And this is a great time of year to do those types of things. What I also know is that is only half the journey. That a huge piece of the journey is how we connect with each other, how we bring these insights into community, into relationship. So one of the things you'll find in our community is that it is like breathing in and breathing out. It is finding that balance of doing the inner work and tapping into those insights, and then from that growth, expressing it into community, because we get a lot of feedback from others. This is not go to the mountaintop and, and live as a hermit the rest of your life. This is go to the mountaintop and then go to the valley, and then go in the mountaintop and go in the valley. And those valleys are opportunities to learn and to grow and to share and to create an impact. And that is what this is all about. What is the impact that you want to make for 2023? Okay, so those of you who registered, thank you for registering. You got some emails saying, here's the supplies. If for whatever reason you didn't get a chance to register, that's cool too. Glad you are here. There are a few supplies that you're going to want to have handy so that you can make the most of this. So pen and paper, have something handy that you can write with. I have my little notebook here, something you can take some notes if you choose to. I would also recommend having some blank paper and some markers. Now, depending, I actually, because I'm going to be demonstrating this, I got the entire poster board. Now, this is not vision boarding, just so you know. This is not a vision board. I just got a great big one to make it easier for me to demonstrate. And maybe you want to do a big one that you can put on your wall. All right, so paper or something that you can capture your vision on. Now, this, like I said, this is not a vision board workshop, so you do not need to have magazines to cut up or glue, scissors. You don't need any of that, but you do need some paper, and you do need, ideally, to have some colored markers. So if you're using a piece of paper, I use my Doodle Up book. This is available on Amazon. It's a Doodle Up vision journal, and we have little doodle pages on here. So I actually, I'll show you at the end today. I'll show you my 2022 doodle that I have done. I haven't done 2023 yet. I want to do that with you. So it can be as simple as a little piece of paper, blank sheet of paper, or you can put it on a poster board. You can, make a mural on your wall, but you need something to draw with. And so I like, sometimes when I'm doing little things, I have my gel pens are fun. Got my standard Crayola markers. I've got my glass of felt tip markers. And I also have my Mr. Sharpies for when I'm going big. So that's fun too. So pick whatever works for you. You can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, grab some supplies and some paper. And then the other thing I want to encourage you to do as we are kind of getting ready to dive into the process, I encourage you to create your environment. So the reason I spent all day yesterday cleaning my house is so that I could step into this new year with order in my space, with nothing in my space that is last year's energy that I do not want in this year's energy. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of things I want to carry forward into the new year, and there's some things that I don't. So what are some things I can thin out? Because what we're going to be doing really today is thinning out some of those old thoughts, some of those old beliefs. Maybe you have some things that feel like, I know for me, I noticed some victim thinking, those types of thoughts that kind of creep in. And this is cleaning mental house so that we can step into that vision. What are you being called to do? What is showing up for you in 2023? All right, so that's the process. So take a deep breath in. Let's do some centering, shall we? So let's just take a deep breath in together. We're going to do 3 deep, relaxing breaths. So 1 deep breath in, and then hold it at the top for just a few seconds, and then release it and let it go. And as you breathe in that awareness of this moment in time. Here we are at the beginning of a brand new shiny year. Hold that breath. And as you breathe out, feel yourself relaxed, open, and in the flow so that you can receive, ready to receive your vision for the new year. And as you take that next breath in, feel yourself opening and expanding to something that is greater than yourself, something that is connecting you with all of life, everything on the planet. Feel that opening to divine energies, to spiritual wisdom, to your highest self. Hold that breath and then let that one go. And third breath, as you breathe in this third breath, feel the connection of those of us who are gathering here on this first day of this new, beautiful, shiny year, this new day. Feel that you are not alone in this journey, that there is an energy that comes together. Napoleon Hill calls it the power of the mastermind, where two or more are gathered. There is an energy that is greater than the sum of our parts. And as we breathe in this deep breath and hold it and then let it go, we feel that connection with each other. We feel the expansiveness of being able to create together, to be able to create not in a vacuum in my own mind, but to be able to take that vision outside of my mind into my hands, into my feet, into action, and into community, into relationship, where those ideas can find others who can support us in taking those ideas to the next level. And what if today, as you step into your vision, what if by bringing that vision into community, you're able to see it with greater clarity? What if you're able to grow it to levels that you might not on your own? And what if you're able to feel a level of congruence with that vision, meaning that as you picture that thing you want to create, you can see and feel and know that it is possible for you simply because you have visioned it. So this is not putting something out there that is pie in the sky, that this is something that you're putting out as a doable vision for the new year. Now, before we go too much into this, I want to share this insight that I had yesterday as I was preparing for this and preparing for, what do I want to create for 2023? I had this insight as I was talking to my daughter. 2023 is, if you add up the numbers, 2023, 2023 is a 7-year, meaning 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. And 7 is a very, very special number. I got to tell you, honestly, I wasn't super excited about 2023 until I realized it's a 7-year. I'm a little jaded by how excited I was about 2020 and then it went so far south. And it feels like ever since then, I've kind of like, okay, I used to be like all gung ho for the new year. Can anyone relate to this? I was all gung ho. First day, new year, I get all excited. And then ever since 2020, I feel like I really have to kind of make myself get there. But yesterday, I realized 2023 is a 7-year, and 7 is a number with incredible significance. And you know this because you're probably familiar about, the Sabbath, and on the seventh day you rest. And on the seventh day, the reason we rest on the seventh day is because the seventh day is about being able to create something that is beyond our human capacity. So think about it. If you go back thousands of years, the farmer that works and works and works 6 days, but on the seventh day, that farmer rests. Why? Because there is something in the growing of those seeds that is beyond the capacity of the farmer. You know what I mean? There's that which we're here to do. We can cultivate the soil. We can plant the seeds. We can water it when it gets dry. We can make sure that it's in a good environment. We can do a lot. We can pull the weeds. We can do all those things. But at some point, there is that time where we have to let go. And it's the seventh day. It's the seventh day when we say, okay, now I release this so that those forces in the universe that do that thing that is beyond my understanding, beyond my comprehension, this is the time for that. A 7-year happens every 9 years, and this 2023 is a 7-year. This is a year where all the things that you have put into motion, all the seeds that you have planted, all the work that you have done meets with an energy that is beyond our individual capacity. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that cool? So I love that. So that's the power of 7. You see 7 in the Sabbath. You see 7 in the spectrum of light. When you see a rainbow, what happens to that light when it's reflected? It's refracted into 7 different colors. It's the essence of light. It is the essence of music. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. 7 notes. Everything it moves us in ways that is beyond the individual capacity. It's all 7s. And that is what this year is about. So I hope you get excited about just the energy that we are coming into this year with, and knowing that for those of you who are on a spiritual path, and I'm guessing that's probably most of us, give me a shout out in the comments if you're like, yes, that's me. If that's a part of your belief system, this is a fabulous year to really go deep in your spirituality, in your personal growth, in your meditation, in your prayers. so that we can tap into that, which is beyond the individual self, beyond our humanness. All right. So you've got your supplies now. Hopefully you've got a nice space. You've got an opportunity to focus a little bit. So I'm going to share with you the process. So as I mentioned, this is not a vision boarding workshop. I have done vision boards before, and I think vision boarding is great. There's two reasons why it's great. One, it gives you something, something visual that you can focus on, right? And it's fun. That's another thing. The experience, there's two things that make a vision board powerful. And then I'm going to share with you what our process is and why it's next level. Vision board is possible because it ties together two important principles for conscious creation, which is clarity of what you want and elevated emotional state. So first step, clarity on what you want. Vision boarding, what do? You gather your magazines and you go through with your scissors and you flip through whatever's in that magazine and you say, want this, don't want this, want this, don't want this. And if you want it, you cut it out. Simple. So in that process, want this, don't want this, want this, don't want this, we're getting some clarity on what it is that we want so that we can build that together into a vision. Life is kind of like that. If you think back on 2022, there are things that were happening in your life that you're like, I like this, want more of this. And there are things that were happening in your life. You're like, don't want that. I want something different. I don't want to put that into my 2023 vision. So what we're going to do, the challenge, I think, with vision boards is that when you're flipping through magazines, the only thing that you're getting access to is what's in that magazine. So there may be something that you're getting called to create that is not represented in that magazine. So what we're going to do is, I consider this next level, because instead of flipping through someone else's, Better Homes and Gardens, or I don't know, what else? I like Mother Earth News. Like, what are your favorite magazines? Instead of just flipping through and saying, what do I want? What do I not want? What we're going to do is go within. We're going to go within where anything is possible. And what I'm going to share with you in this session is that we're going to start out with a process to help you get clarity based on last year's experience, help you get clarity on where you want to go for 2023. And then from that clarity, we'll step into building a vision. And so know this, we're going to be doodling a bit. This is not an art project, so don't feel like you have to be an artist. In fact, sometimes being an artist can kind of get in the way because you try to make it perfect. This is not intended to be perfect. I'm going to be making stick people and making mistakes. Now, when I do my New Year's doodle, and I have done this every year for a very long time, sometimes I will start it and then I'll redo it. So you may find that you do a rough sketch. I often will do a rough sketch first, and then I'll kind of think, okay, now I want to really make it something that I want to look at all year long. I want to pretty it up a little bit. Not that you have to be an artist, but I want it to represent the things that I want to create. So that's the goal, is we're going to source it. We're going to source it from the imagination where all things are possible. Okay, so don't let that idea that I'm not an artist, don't let that slow you down, because this is just for you. Nobody needs to see it, right? It's all for you. This is going to tap into the two things that vision boards do, right? It's going to tap into the power of clarity and an elevated state. So the most important thing you can do as you're engaged in this process, because this process, just by being here, you clearly are focused, right? You're focusing on what you want. That's why you're here. That part, check. The second piece of it is elevated energy, right? So have fun with this. Be playful about this. Take any judgmental thoughts and tell them, last year, that was last year. I don't need you in 2023. Thank you for sharing. Like, this is just going to be fun. We're just going to have a good time here. All right. So be playful and have fun with it. All right. Who's in? Post me a comment. Let me know who's in the house. I want to see who's here, and are you ready to go? All right. So here's the process. I want to share with you first the exercise that came to me last night, because it was really, really powerful. So what I was doing was I was noticing for 2022, you know how you think back, like, what did I accomplish in 2022? What are my highlights? What are my best moments of 2020? What am I most proud of in 2022? And then I was thinking about, what are the things I wanted to do, but I felt like I fell short. All right. Because what we want to do is we want to clean up that energy. We want to transform and shift that energy. Hi, Lance. Lance in the house. I like the reference to the seven. Seven's just an amazing year. I'm so excited. So thanks for joining. All right. So we're going to first grab paper and pen. This is going to be a bit of a journaling exercise. Okay. So this is the question. As you think back on 2022, maybe you feel like you hit it out of the park. Maybe you feel like on a scale of 0 to 10, it was a 13 or a 20. And if so, this may go really fast for you. If, like me, you're looking back on the year and you have some regrets or you have some judgments about what you didn't do or any of that kind of thing, any kind of thought that doesn't feel good, any kind of judgment that is negative in any kind of way. If you're experiencing any of that, and of course we all do, the first step is to write it down. So I'm going to share with you. Make sure you get got the wrong book. Hold on. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples. This is what, as I popped out of my meditation, my water meditation, I created this possibility. What if 2023 is different? What if I create something that is beyond what I've ever created before? What if it's a year of miracles? That's one of my what ifs. I did some brainstorming, like what if? And I said, this is a 7 year. So what if I just relax and allow? What if this is a year of letting go and trusting that I've built momentum through my action? And what if this is a year where I'm tuned in to where those seeds are beginning to grow? And what if I cultivate those? What if, as I do this, I'm feeling guided, I'm feeling inspired, I'm feeling fulfilled? And what if this is a year where I give my gifts? So I just kind of started with a brainstorm. What if 2023 is different than any year I've ever experienced in my life? So think about for a moment. I'm going to go into the silence for just a moment so you can create some possibilities for yourself. What is your possibility? What is your what if for 2023? And you can either write it down like I did. What if 2023 is different? Or you can put it in the comments as well. You can use the comments as your own little journal if you'd like to. All right. So what is your possibility? Take a deep breath in, and I invite you to go within and go to that space. I touch my heart because that's where I feel it. I also, you can't see this, but I ground in my solar plexus. I ground in my gut, feel in my heart. I ground in my gut, feet planted. Find that posture that connects you with your truth. And take a deep breath in and ask yourself, what is your possibility for 2023? What is your what if for 2023? Take a moment in the silence. I invite you to either write it down or post it in the comments. What is your possibility for this year? The possibility creates the context for everything else that we do. So one of the things, you hear a lot of what ifs from me because we are called the What If Up Club. Only instead of saying, what if it doesn't work, which a lot of times those thoughts run through our minds, right? We say, well, what if it does? What if everything goes right? What is the possibility for this year? So capture that. What is that possibility? And now we're going to look back on 2022. Look back on anything that does not feel congruent with that future vision. So as you look back on 2022, what are the things that you are thinking about as you're reflecting on that year that feel like that's not super empowering? That's not super, maybe that's not my truth. So I will share some of mine just to help you get the ball rolling. So we moved to Northern New York in 2020, end of 2020. So we've been here for a couple of years, been getting settled. And it's more so than anywhere I've ever lived. It's very remote. It's beautiful, but it's very remote. And so I've had this dialogue that I've noticed in myself saying, I really want to succeed in this area, but I'm so remote. This is so remote. This is too rural. I'm too far out there. I'm too disconnected with the city, with the opportunities that city equals opportunity, rural equals not opportunity. So I've noticed that dialogue that's been running through my head frequently. So I wrote it down. So I put down, I'm letting go of, I'm too remote. I'm letting go of, it's too rural. I'm letting go of this vision that I have, that I've been building and creating. Occasionally I have that thought that this is just too much for me. I can't do the thing I want to do because it's too much for me. So I wrote that down. It's too much for me. I don't have the time to do what I need to do to make that thing happen. I've noticed that thought. So maybe you have, I don't have the time to do the thing that I want. That's why 2022 wasn't everything I dreamed it would be, is because I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the money. I have that one going on. I've turned 50 in 2020, and I've been kind of grappling with what that means. So in terms of my appearance, I'm looking older, and now there's all these young people coming in on the technology, and so things around my appearance, things around my age. What are the things, like, really be honest? What are the things that float through your mind that are not serving you? You know that they're not congruent with the success and the fulfillment that you are stepping into for 2023. So I'm going to give you some time in the silence to think about what that might be, and write down as many as you can think of. I love this. Thank you for sharing your possibilities. My possibility is to live the fullness of life in every moment. Oh, so nice. My possibility is to live the fullness of life in every moment. So once you have that possibility, then you can look back and say, well, what are the things that float through my brain on occasion that are not congruent with that possibility? What are the things that you're thinking? I'll give you some more mine. This thing that I do, this little doodle thing, silly. Like, will people take it seriously? Like, those thoughts run through my mind. I can't make money with this. You ever have that thought? I don't know how to fill in the blank. I don't know how to position this. I don't know how to, all those I don't know how to's. If you've got any of that, write it down. I've had this thought, like, okay, I know a lot about growing mission-centric organizations. I know a lot about small groups. I know a lot about personal development and leadership. I've had the thought, anything else would be easier than what I'm trying to do. For real. So write it down. Write it down. If it's taking up space in your head, write it down. Lance, thanks for sharing, Lance. My business grows like never before. The seeds planted will punch through and reach up aggressively, joyfully, abundantly, like the mustard seeds, right? That those seeds, oh yeah. I have this new house that we have. They put down a weed barrier in the garden. So the first year I'm trying to plant stuff, and I can't plant anything because there's weed barrier everywhere. But you know what? That weed barrier has been down so long that the only things growing are the things that will sprout aggressively. So the things that I had in my garden, oh my gosh, the seeds that can pierce that, the seeds that have the strength to break through barriers and to continue to thrive and to continue to propagate. That is a powerful vision. Powerful vision. I am generative. Yes. Wow, that's a fabulous affirmation. I am generative. Very cool. Okay, so I'm going to shift our gears a little bit. If you are brave enough and you're willing, what are some of the thoughts that you noticed in 2022 that you do not want to bring into 2023? What are some of the things that have floated through your mind that you're ready to let go of? And I know for me, I know that the thought isn't serving me if it makes me feel like I don't have control, if it makes me feel like I'm a victim, if it makes me feel disempowered, and there's plenty of them, right? So I'm picking the voices, like the alpha voices in my head, that are not serving me. If I were to prune the team in my head, first of the year, if I were to look at my team and say, okay, thoughts, which of you are serving me? Which of you are helping me get where I want to go? I'm giving you all a raise. I'm giving you all a promotion. I'm giving you all your own office with a window view. You know what I mean? And for those of you who have been dragging me down, because of the self-doubt and the fear and the, the anxiety and the, I don't know if I have enough, the not enoughness. All of you are going to get redirected, right? We're going to let you go. All right. Oh, thank you. Oh, these are so good. So letting go of stuckness. Yeah, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. What if we let that go? Not enough. I'm not enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough beauty, youth, age, wisdom. I don't know. Not enoughness. There's just not enough. Inconsistent. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Letting go of, I'm just inconsistent. What if that weren't there? Belonging. So rich. So rich. This is so good. Yes. So if you notice, like, I don't belong anywhere. I'm not connected here. I can't find my tribe, that kind of stuff. What is the thought? I haven't had the focus needed to keep the energy flowing steadily. I get distracted. Okay. You've got this. You're doing so, so good. All right. So that's step one, identifying these thoughts. They live in my head. I gave them real estate last year. This year, I'm taking that real estate away. I'm giving it to the thoughts that are fertile. I'm giving it to that, it's like the parable of the seeds. It's like, okay, where do I want to plant these seeds of possibility? I want to plant them in the rich, fertile soil. I don't want to plant these seeds among the stones. So, all right, here's the next step. This is where you can take your blank piece of paper, and this is not a forever. This is a sketch. I'm going to show you mine really quick. I don't want you to get too detailed about it, but just see, it's just a little doodle sketch. And what I started doing was I went to my list of all the things I wrote down, all the thoughts that I was thinking last year that I noticed trending. These are my trending thoughts for 2022. And I asked myself, what would it look like if I could transform that thought? So it's two things. What would it look like? Sometimes it's what would it sound like? What would it feel like? What would it look like if I were to transform that thought? So let me give you an example. So the first one I had was, I'm too remote. Like, how can I grow a business when I'm this far remote, when I'm in this much of a rural environment? So what I considered was, what if being remote is perfect? Like, what if it's not a factor at all? What if being rural, like, I love being in the mountains. I love being in a rural environment. Here I am online connecting with people all over the world. So I was thinking about, what would it look like if, not to deny that, because it is true, I am remote and I am in a rural location, but what if I were to see that differently? So I doodled, here, I'll show you my little one. So I doodled my house. There's my little house in the mountains. And I affirm I'm in the perfect place. And I also remind myself that this is the lifestyle I love. I don't want to go to a city and work super, super hard so that I can have the funds to be able to someday retire out here. I'm here now. I love rural living. So it's a reminder to, instead of thinking that's a bad thing, it's a great thing. This is who I am. This is what I love. So I drew my little house where I live. I affirm I'm in the perfect place. And it's not just affirming it because it's the opposite. It's affirming it from the perspective of, it's true. It's a simultaneous truth, right? See, that's the paradox in spiritual growth, is that a lot of times you can have two different things and they can both be true, but which one do we want to focus on? So I could say, yes, I am too rural to do some of the things I used to do in terms of big city networking, but I'm in the perfect place to do this right here, right now, connecting with you. What if I'm in the perfect place to do the things that I'm called to do? So I created my little house. Here I am in my perfect place. So it could be a doodle. And the reason the doodling is powerful. So you see, I use words a lot. I'm a very auditory person. I like having the picture, because what the picture does is it has you not just think the thought, but it has you translate that thought into something that you can see, something that is tangible. So sometimes with affirmations, we can say, I am generative, which is a powerful affirmation. So then the question is, what does that look like? What does I am generative look like? What does, if we're saying, okay, stuckness, that was one of them. Like, I feel like I'm stuck. What is something that you can know to be true? So you're not denying the stuckness, but you can actually see, like, what would that look like? So I might say, I'm stuck. I'll just use stuckness as an example. I might say, I am in the perfect place, moving at my perfect pace. I am moving at my perfect pace. And so what that does is it doesn't deny the reality. It shifts the judgment about that reality. What if the thing that last year felt like stuck, this year feels like discernment? What if the fact that I'm not taking action is actually an affirmation of the fact that the inspiration to act has not come to me yet? And what if I celebrate the wisdom to only act upon my inspiration? It's the same reality. It's a different judgment and a different experience. So what would that look like? What it might look like is meditation. What it might look like is stepping down a path at your own pace. What does it look like? All right, so really, really good. Up leveling. This is good. This is the lifestyle I love. The universe has me in the right time, right place. Yes, Diana. Mwah. This is the lifestyle I love. I love this lifestyle. Sometimes, isn't it interesting? We dream of a certain, experience, and then we have it, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. This is so much to do, and it's so overwhelming. And we get into it, and it's like all those little thoughts that follow us, and they make us think that what we're experiencing isn't what we want. But the truth is, what if you actually are experiencing the lifestyle that you really love? And what if you could embrace all the pieces of it? The universe has me in the right time, right place, totally, totally trusting that. I am in the flow. I like it. The emojis. Yeah, doodle it, emoji it up. So what if you could see that instead of being stuck, that you're actually in the flow, and that flow is taking you exactly where you envisioned yourself being? And what if you don't know that place, you don't know what that vision is, what if that flow brought you to this moment? I'm inspired. I'm inspired too. I'm inspired by your comments. Thank you so much for jumping in and playing with me. This is awesome. Okay. So this is the next step, is to go through all your little statements that you wrote down. And I'll give you some time in the silence. I want you to be able to think this through and know that you don't have to like complete all of this here. When I did this last night, I spent about half an hour identifying the thoughts and then turning them into my vision. And what I did was I took every single one. So in terms of I was stuck or that kind of thing, here's my sunrise. See that, my sunrise? I said, this is my timing is divine. My timing is perfect. My pace is perfect. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should, and really trusting that. Now is my perfect time. I can handle massive success and abundance. I have, let's see, where are we? I have all the money I need to live prosperously plus philanthropically. I am a role model. So I was looking at my relationships with my spouse. Here's my hubby. I love seeing you succeed. And this, let's see, where are you? There's our little what if upper or what if up circles. This is changing everything for good. This is changing everything for good. This makes so much sense. We totally get what's being created here, and we are totally on board. I can have it all and experience balance, joy, and deep connection. I was born for this. This is easy. There's my flow. See, can you see it? I got my flow down there too. So take a moment and think about what it is for you. Translating the old dialogue into a new vision. Pop it down into a doodle. Don't overthink. Don't be the perfectionist here. It's just get it down. You're translating the new clarity, the new vision into something that is visual. Got it? Okay. So I'm going to be here. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm going to give you a few moments in the silence. I'm just going to do, for those of you who are joining, I give you a chance just to meditate and to breathe. I'm going to guide us in some breathing, but you can just doodle, see what comes to you. By the way, as we complete this live session, in our next hour, we're going into our What If Up community so that we can share what you've been creating and we can what if up it. We can share possibilities. We can inspire each other. So I'm going to share with you in this live stream. This is about the process. And I encourage you to keep working on it because, like we said in the beginning, the creative process is two things. It's clarity and it's your emotional state while focused on that thing that you want. The longer you focus in that elevated state on the thing that you want, the greater power that you have to attract those things into your experience. So just take a few moments. I'm just going to do some breathing and give you some time to do your doodle. Do the doodle. All right. And as you do, know that I am holding the space for you. I'm holding the space for those divine ideas to flow through you, the clarity to flow through you. With every breath in and every breath out. Every breath in and every breath out. Oh, look at this. Hello, my dear. Almost missed it. I'm in California, so my time is off, but I'm here and ready to dream. You're in the right place. So if you're just now joining us, we are setting the groundwork for our vision for 2023. And the way we've been doing this is by first identifying our possibility for the year. What's your what if for 2023? I have what if 2023 is different? And then we have been brainstorming the old dialogue, the 2022 dialogue that doesn't sync up with the 2023 vision. What are the things that you've had running through your head that are not serving you? And now, as we are literally doodling the clarity that we get from the not want. It's kind of like, when you do a vision board and you go through the magazine and you're like seeing, okay, I want this, don't want this, don't want that. So we're just going to 2022 and saying, I don't want that thought anymore. But instead of having to flip through and find a picture of it, we're creating it. We're generative. We are generative. We are generating the vision, sourcing it from our own wisdom. So if you notice you've got an old pattern, what's the new pattern and what does it look like? How can you represent it? Oh, Adriana, I have missed you, dear friend. It is so good to see you. There's usually a way in the comments where you can click through and let me see your name. So if you haven't said that, then if you haven't clicked on it, then it shows me that you're a Facebook user. So it's kind of generic. But if you want me to see your name, you can just click that link once and it should show up from then on out. All right. So in California, are you in California, Adriana? So good to see you. All right. So how's it going? You got your doodles? You got your affirmations? What are you seeing as you shift the old dialogue into clarity? Like clarity, not just in terms of the thought, not just like finding the opposite, but taking that opposite or taking that, the polarity of it and saying, okay, if this is what I don't want, then this is what I do want. And here's what that looks like. I was speaking with my daughter yesterday. We were talking about kindness. We're talking about if we watched this movie on New Year's Eve about, I don't know what it's called, but it had this wish dragon. And at the end, I said, if you had 3 wishes, what would it be? She's like, I don't know. What would it be? She said, I think I would want to have a sustainable planet. I would want people to care about the planet so that we could live in harmony. I'm like, wow, that's a wonderful vision. What does that look like? What does it look like? And she asked me, and I said, if I had a wish that I could wish for humanity, I think it might start with, what if people were just kind? What if every person on the planet was kind to every other living being on the planet? What if I could wave my magic wand and have kindness everywhere? What would that be like? And so that's the question. What would that be like? Would it be like, someone giving me flowers because it's kind? Would it be someone saying, I'm sorry? Would it be opening the door for someone? Like, what does it look like? So that these ideas of peace and kindness and love What does that look like to you? Making it tangible. All right. I'm in Vermont, not as rural as me. I don't know. I've been to Vermont and I think we might be tied. We might be tied. I love Vermont. It's absolutely beautiful. I hope you enjoy your rural setting as much as I enjoy mine. Visiting your son. That sounds awesome. I'm assuming that's Adriana. Good for you. I'm so glad to reconnect. Thanks for the comments. I love seeing where you are. All right. So I'm going to keep on moving. Do we have it? Or at least have the idea of it so you can go back and keep fleshing out your, this is sort of a practice doodle. This is our warm-up doodle before we get to our 2023 vision. And the reason I wanted to start with this is because I think as I was thinking about 2023, first of all, I just had a hard time getting excited about it until I realized it was a 7-year. And I'm like, oh yeah, a 7-year. We got some spiritual energy here. Like I'm not doing this alone. I don't have to effort this into being. This is exciting. And then as I started tapping into that, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to truly step into the knowledge that this is a spiritually charged year, what's the old thought pattern that doesn't serve? It's just not aligned. So, and then how do I transform that? That's what we've been doing. So now you've got those old thoughts that we didn't discount them. We didn't say that wasn't true. What we've just done is said there's another way of seeing them. There's another way of seeing this reality that is more true. And not only is it more true, it's more true because it's congruent with the vision that we're stepping into. So same reality, different perspective, different feeling, different energy. And by doodling it, we are locking it in and we're spending time having fun, yes, and focusing on that thing that we want. Kelly, hello, Kelly. I love my rural life. Yeah, we're close to each other. I don't know where you are in Vermont, but I'm guaranteeing you're about as close to me as anybody else in my rural world up here in the Adirondack Park. All right, so now we're going to move on to this next piece. So the next piece is creating that 2023 vision. What is it you want to create for 2023? So I have my big old poster board, and I brought this mainly so I could demonstrate, although it may be overkill. It may be a little too big to demonstrate. I also brought some sticky notes. And for those of you who pre-registered, you probably saw my suggestion to bring some sticky notes. You don't have to have sticky notes, but I kind of like them when I have this big, expansive blank something in front of me. So the reason I brought the sticky notes is to start thinking about what are the pieces of your 2023 vision. So if we aren't thinking the old thoughts anymore, if we are fully grounded in the new perspective, the new way of seeing ourselves, and the new idea of what we can create when it's not that 2022 mindset, what is it we want to create in all the different areas of our life? So I'm going to share with you basic ideas for doodles, and then we're going to shift gears and go into our What If Up community to do a little work session, and then I'll stop talking and I'm going to create mine while you're creating yours, and we can share and it'll be fun. Okay, so when you're creating a doodle, first thing I usually recommend is put yourself in your doodle, because you want to see that connection. Every time you look at it, it's not something that's happening out there. It's not something that's happening to somebody else. It's something that's happening to you and for you. So I'm going to start with my little doodle of myself, and I put myself in the center. Boom. There we go. So here we go. There's my doodle. And like I said, you do not have to be an artist. I hope I make that really, really clear that this is not an art project. This is a visioning process. So just get it down there. So start with yourself. Put yourself in the vision so that every time you see it, you are there front and center. Now from this is a process that I've done every New Year's Day for a very long time. Some of you have even done this with me. This stems from some experience that I used to teach mind mapping to college students and high school students as a note-taking technique. So if you've never heard of mind mapping, it's a way of remembering things, studying for exams. The way our brain works, it's not black and white, words and letters. Our brain doesn't optimize our brain. Our brain thinks in pictures. Our brain thinks in colors. Our brain thinks in relationships and patterns. So mind mapping is a note-taking art form. It's a note-taking strategy that helps us remember data because it's connected with, how your brain tends to work. I taught that years and years and years ago. And what I found myself doing when it came New Year's is, when I didn't have the time or the energy or the magazines to do a vision board, what I would do is use what I knew about mind mapping. And I created a mind map. And I think I've done this, I can think of at least probably 20 years that I've been using the mind mapping principles in a visioning context. And now what it has become is what I'm calling vision doodling. We doodle up our vision. So basic ideas is in a mind map, your central idea is in the center. So like if I'm studying a certain topic, I would put that topic in the center, and then you map out of it different the different thought patterns. So if I'm studying something, I might have, here's the main idea, and then here's point 1, point 2, point 3, and then in conclusion, so you just kind of map it out. With a doodle, we're starting with, you are the main idea, your life, 2023. I'm going to put 2023 on here because this is my 2023 vision. This is the main idea for my doodle, right? Now, think about what 2023 means to you in terms of the different areas of your life. Now, I am using sticky notes as placement holders. So this is just to help me get organized in terms of the things that I want to put on this doodle. So I have some ideas here to share with you. You can put them on sticky notes. You can, if you want to, you can just, create a little bubble for each one. I would do, maybe what I like to do is different colors for each one. Your brain loves colors. And sometimes I'll organize my ideas based on, okay, everything that's related to my career, I'm going to put that over here, and it's all going to be in green. And maybe this is the bright green. I got money. That's another category. So I'm going to think about and brainstorm possibilities for my career. I want to think about and brainstorm possibilities for my finances, health, vitality. I like vitality because health is just like not sick to me, but vitality is, I've got energy, I've got physical energy, and I've got emotional, spiritual energy. So that can be not just your physical health, but also your mental well-being, right? So that's going to be a category that we can brainstorm out. I am going to give you all these different ideas. If for you, you're like, you know what? Career is, I'm retired. I don't need that one. If you don't need it, don't put it on your map, right? So I'm just giving you some ideas. All right. So one of the things that I have as a category is friendship. This is a big one for me for 2023. I want to be a better friend. I want to make new friends. I want to stay connected better with the friends that I have. And for me, maybe these are the same category for you, but for me, friends and family are very different. It's a very different brainstorm for me. And to the same degree, I would say, so is my significant other. There we go. There we go. So spouse, significant other, that person, that partner. What do you want that? And maybe for you, that's not on your horizon. You don't need that on there. That's fine. That's cool. This is for you. All right. Spirituality, personal growth, whatever you want to call that. Purpose, your mission, that kind of thing. What is that category so that you can have a space for that? You can brainstorm it. Fun. What do you want to do for fun? Do you want to travel? Do you want to learn something new? How do you want to play this year? Physical environment. What do you want for your space? Do you want a new house? Do you want to decorate? Do you want to plant a garden? Do you want to, I don't know, what do you want in your physical space? And then here's my last one is community. So how do you want to impact your community? How do you want to get involved in your local community or in a greater community? So these are some ideas of different categories. I put them on my sticky notes so I can kind of think about where I want to put them. I might rearrange this just a little bit, just so I have more space. And then what we're going to do next is for each of these, you'll have some time to think about, what does that look like? What does career look like for me? Is it for me growing my organization? Is it, for me, I have a lot of things in this part of the vision. And what does it look like financially? What do you see in your physical environment? Now, as you doodle, like I said, color is great. Your brain loves color. Put yourself in the center. Images are great. Even if you think I'm not a visual person or I'm not an artist, do the best you can to create visual icons of everything that you have on there. So as much as you can, think about what that would look like in terms of the auditory piece. So for those of you like me, like I love words, I love ideas. So sometimes I will put them as affirmations. Sometimes I will put them as thought bubbles. So here's what I'm thinking about money. Here's what I'm thinking in terms of my relationship. Here's what I'm saying in terms of my friendships. So you might put them in a dialogue box. You might put it in a thought bubble, or you might just have it as an affirmation or words. I know when I used to do vision boards, I'd like to cut out words and just put like power words on there. So maybe you have some words. Maybe there's some emotional things, like you could put love, you could put peace, you could put healing, or you can put an icon to represent that, peace sign or a heart. But think about not just like, what does it look like? What does it feel like? And how can I represent that? What does it sound like? What am I thinking? What am I saying? What are other people thinking about me, about this? What are other people saying about me, about this? So we're sort of doing an all-inclusive, all-encompassing in terms of all of our senses, and we're sourcing it from within. So different ways you can do this. Include as much color as you can. When I do a vision board, sometimes, or a vision doodle, what I will do sometimes is I will say, okay, everything that's in this category is going to be a certain color, or everything that's in this category is going to be a certain color. Or I might say, okay, all of these main ideas are going to be a certain color, and then I'm going to just expand around it and see what comes up. So you want to be thinking in terms of color, thinking in terms of icons, thinking in terms of words, thought bubbles. I want to share with you, before we go to our break, I want to share with you my 2022. It's way over here. Hold on. I'm coming. Here it is. So this is what I did last year in my doodle book. So this, by the way, these pages come from our Doodle Up Visioning Journal. So you can find these on Amazon. I think there's a link. If you're on YouTube, there's a link down below. But it's a great way to get some prompts. You can get some ideas. How do you align your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, all these things we talk about in the What If Up Club. And you get your doodle pages as well. So this is what I did in 2022. And it was really fun. I love looking back on my 2022, on my previous year's doodles, and seeing what came together. Healthy gardens, hiking, friends, writing, connecting with the community, space to breathe, spirituality, the What If Up Club, spreading hope, building connection, inspiring positive change. This was a year of blooming, of getting things to grow and expanding. So I see romance and fun and reading and learning and music and French and all these learning new languages and things like that. So this is my 2022 vision doodle that I created. And again, like self in the center, and then your different ideas. All right, that's just one example. You be you, create yours however you would like. So what we're going to do next is, first of all, I just want to thank you for being here and for opening yourself to the process and playing with it. It's a 7-year, it's 2023. So there's, I'm just going to affirm for us all, there's big stuff waiting for us this year. And it's the result of the things that you have already set in motion, right? It's the result of the things you already have set in motion. It's the result of who you've been being. And there is a momentum coming in the year. I'm just going to claim it for us. I'm just going to claim that there is, if we can relax a little, allow, we've been planting seeds, we've been doing the work, and trust that that there is help in a way that is beyond our understanding, right? That the things that you want, the good things that you want to create, that there is a universal current that is moving us, especially in this year ahead. What I know is that creating the vision is powerful work. Putting it down on paper is also powerful work. A lot of people never have the vision, right? We never stop to get the clarity. This is a clarity exercise. A lot of people, once they have the clarity, they never stop to actually write it down so they can lock into it. So this is about locking into that clarity that that you've sourced. A lot of people write it down and never tell anybody about it. What I know is that if you can surround yourself with people who can hear your vision, hear the clarity of your desire, and see you as that, even when it hasn't manifested yet, that gives you an accelerative power that is beyond just thinking about it in your head. So this is not just go spew it to everybody. This is not necessarily saying that you, show it to certain people. You know, the people that you shouldn't show it to, right? You know, the ones that don't need to see what's on your vision doodle. So you don't need to show it to everybody, but it's really great when you have a community that you can share things, and it doesn't matter how wild it sounds, that it's going to be met with encouragement and support and possibility. So one of the things that I love about this community is that this is a place like that where you can post like, hey, here's what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of picking up and moving across the country to northern New York. And everyone says, well, what if it's fun and easy? What if it's exactly where you're meant to be? What if you trust the process? What if whatever it is that you are thinking you want to create in this new year, what if you knew that you could go into a community and have people who could surround you with encouragement? Not only encouragement, like, yes, I see that as possible, but also ideas for how to do it and how to move through those barriers, the weed barriers. What if those seeds that we plant can grow through anything? Literally can grow through anything because they are so powerful. I love the emojis. There we go. It's like doodling digitally. Oh, so Lance says, Isaiah 43:19. Look, I'm about to do something new, even now, in this moment, even now, it is coming. Do you not see it? Indeed, I will make a way in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. Note the words, do you not see it? Oh, thank you, Lance. That's beautiful. Do you not see it? Today is about seeing it. This process is about seeing it. And it's about seeing it and sharing it so that others can see it too. We can be witness to each other and for each other. All right. So how do we do that? whatifup.org is our nonprofit organization. It's called the What If Up Club because we come together, we share what we're working on, and then it's met with possibility. What if this is fun and easy? What if coming together is that secret sauce that you've been looking for? So we what if up into possibilities. What you won't find there is what if downing. Well, what if it's hard? What if you can't? What if you don't have the time or the resources? Blah, 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 blah. We don't go there. This is a culture that is designed to fuel possibility. And from that, two things. One, it helps us expand our imagination so that as problems come up, as weed barriers get matted on top of us, that we have the imagination and the resourcefulness, the mental resourcefulness, because we have practiced accessing our imagination and the unlimited possibilities of how we can create. Because we have done that, when barriers come up, challenges come up, we are more adept, we are more flexible, we are more innovative in meeting whatever challenges come up. Because let's face it, it's, the world is what the world is, and there will be no shortage of challenges, right? So, but we're up to it. What if we are totally up for it? Because we have an incredible imagination, and that imagination allows us to see our way through what might for others be a barrier. The other thing that allows us to do is to get really, really good at listening from these ideas. Ideas like we share ideas abundantly. When you come into the What If Up Club, you're going to get a lot of ideas for ways that you could go. And what we know is we give ideas as gifts without attachment, meaning that as we share a What If Up possibility with you, we share it as a gift to consider, for you to consider. And if you decide this is not an idea that's for me, there is no attachment. No one's going to come pounding on your door and saying, did you do that thing I said you should do? Because it's just a what if, just an idea. The benefit of that is we get really good at sifting through positive ideas. They're all good ideas. They're all ideas that are positive and empowering, but not all of them are ours to do, right? We can only do so much at a time. And no one can tell you what your best path is. That answer is in your heart. That answer is in your prayers, your meditation. That answer is for you and you alone. And what we do is we share the ideas, we provide the space to be able to discern, where does this land for you, for me, like for each of us as individuals? What of these ideas is calling to me so that I can take my next inspired action? So that maybe my next inspired action, we talked about being stuck, maybe my next inspired action is to sit with it for a bit. Maybe my next inspired action is to journal a little more. Maybe it's to go take a hike in nature or to meditate. Maybe my next inspired action is to get on the phone and call people. Maybe my next inspired action is to build that website or write that chapter of the book or whatever it might be. Only you know what that is. And the reason you know what that is because you have wisdom within you that you can access at any time. So we affirm that and we know that to be true. And so what we do is we provide the space to be able to go and find that thing and then identify what's my next step. And then we have the accountability. So if I know I'm feeling called to do X and, a week later, a month later, I still haven't done that, we've got support. Just say, hey, I haven't done that. What's going on? Is it because it's not mine to do, or is it because I've got another thought that might need to be transformed? So I share all of this with an invitation to join us in the What If Up Club. It's going to be an amazing year. We have small groups that are forming as we head into the year. If you're interested in joining a group, you can join our What If Up Club. If you're interested in leading a group, we have a training coming up next Saturday. If you're interested in getting certified because you're a coach or a speaker or a facilitator or a retreat leader and organizational leader, you want to bring this process into your teams, we have a certification program that is launching end of January and would love for you to be part of what we are creating as we head into this new year. So here's where this party is going. We're going to migrate over into our What If Up community. So if you go to whatifup.org, you'll see at the top, there's your library where you can log in. It's your email address, whatever email address you use to sign up. Put in your email address, put in your password. If you don't know your password, just say forgot password. It'll send you a new one. And you'll see your library. So we're going to go into our member clubhouse. And once I wrap up here, I'm going to launch a new stream in the member clubhouse where everybody can get on camera and we can just kind of share, okay, here's what I'm working on. It can be a work session. So you can just have, you can start thinking about some of these different things on your vision doodle and just work on it. We don't have to talk. We don't have to, you don't have to share. You can just be with us and maybe get some ideas from others that are working on it as well. And it gives us a chance to see each other and feel that connection of, a little party, a little online party. So whatifup.org. I just want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your comments, for engaging. If you haven't liked our YouTube channel yet, or our Facebook page, or wherever you happen to be watching this, please subscribe, like, share. We grow because of you, because it resonates with you and you want to share it with others. So it is the spirit of generosity that is expansive energy. So thank you so much. I'm Mindy Audlin, author of the book, What If It All Goes Right? And I am headed into our community. So I'm going to give me like 60 seconds and I will see you there. Thanks everybody, and wishing you a happy and joyful, fulfilling, prosperous, abundant new year. Happy 2023. Bye-bye.